I take my rightful place at the head of the table. Believe that.
Welcome to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Knows podcasting network. In the ring with Jimmy, Chris, and Rod. We have a huge weekend coming up. Tons of wrestling going on. We have AEW, NXT. We're not going to talk about those. We're going to talk about WWE. But I do want to talk about the Players Tribune a little bit because someone on this panel's favorite wrestler, Charlotte Flair, Ashley Fleer, if you will, had a huge article in there, and I just want to get some of your comments on that, Rod. How did you like Charlotte's article in the Players Tribune?
I must admit that I have not read the full article yet. I was only alerted
to it
a little bit before this pod, so as soon as we leave here, I will be reading because I listen to the Queen's decrees. So this is kind of like a royal proclamation laid down from on high, so I will read it from her and soak up every word. But the one excerpt that I did see is she's not telling lies at all. We wash our hands with the women and we push them off to the side, and then you look over at the men's side and we got all dudes in their late 40s pushing 50, their mid 40s, and they're certainly not getting pushed to the side. They're the top of the card. So Charlotte's on to something there when she says, oh, here I am, a couple of injuries, all of a sudden I'm at 39 years old and it feels like you want to push me to the side because you're bringing up Tiffany Stratton and you're bringing up Roxanne Perez and you're bringing up Julia and you're bringing up, you know what I mean? It's similar to what happens in Hollywood, right? You don't see Julia Roberts and Sandra Bullock and all them for a whole lot of years because they have to kind of go away for a while until they age into getting the older actress roles. It's unfortunate, man. It's rough out there for women in so many different ways, and this is just another one of those reminders.
I don't want to be, I got to bring it up, all right? Because she looks different now than she did a couple years ago, right? Is she perpetuating this myth that you have to keep a certain type of appearance in order to not get pushed to the side? And if so, then like come out and tell us that part of this or that side of the business. Tell us if that's why you did it or not, or because of this, is that why? That's the part that I wanted to get into because, I mean, I can't ignore the fact that she looks different now than when I started watching it again a few years ago.
Sure. She does hit on that in the, I skimmed because it was literally like a 20-minute read probably. But she does talk a little bit about that. But going to the age thing, I think the age thing is interesting because we talk about the women's evolution and the women's revolution. This has a lot to do. Let me start again. The NBA went through a lot of growing pains. WNBA now is going through those same growing pains where people are saying we're playing too much, we're not getting paid enough. So it's kind of mirroring. It's just decades apart. The same thing is happening in wrestling now, where we have men who are older in their 40s, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, John Cena, who are main eventing, but then you have the women who are younger saying, you might be past your prime. Here's a couple trivia things for you. Roddy Piper had his retirement match from the WWE in 1987 for two reasons. Number one, he was trying to go to Hollywood, but number two, he was kind of getting a little older. How old, Chris, do you think Roddy Piper was in 1987? And I know this isn't fair because you babysat him, but how old do you think Roddy Piper was in 1987?
38.
38. Rod?
I'm going to go with 34.
He was 33 years old in 1987. Okay. Another big one. Hulk Hogan left in 1994. Vince McMahon said it's time to go. You know, he's too old. People don't care about him. Think about that for a second, okay? How old, Rod, was Hulk Hogan in 1994?
I'm going to go with a little bit older. I'm going to say he was 37.
37. Chris?
I'll go 35.
Okay, he was 41. He was 41 in 1994, okay? So you see, right now, this is where our top stars are, and you don't see them going anywhere anytime soon. Cody's got some years left. Roman, if he wants it, I mean, who knows? Charlotte does bring up a lot of good points, though, where people are prolonging their careers a lot, and they are able to continue to bust the trend. Goldberg is coming back and main eventing something at 60.
Okay, but isn't
Go ahead.
that kind of due to the fact that now a professional wrestler can actually sustain a lifestyle to help with the injuries and things like that longer into their lives? Back in the 80s when Roddy Piper was doing that, there was way more money making movies like They Live, right? And where he could star in that than there was putting his body on the line 300 nights a year and not make the same amount of money, right? But now you can make those millions of dollars and only be on TV 40 times a year and maybe a house show another 40 times a year, right? So, and it's much easier to sustain that. And then because of the fans, they're going to stick around for those guys longer, right? If you were a Rollins fan as a kid and he's still wrestling, you're still going to love Rollins. I have people I talk to about this podcast, right? Like, wow, I haven't watched wrestling in a long time. I used to love Rey Mysterio. You can still watch him, right? So, because
that's that, yeah.
So yeah. I think that has something to do with it as well.
And that's what she's saying. You're actually making her point very, very well for her, because people do prolong their careers a lot more. If you think about it, Trish Stratus, who again is going for a championship this weekend, hasn't been around in a while, and she can still she can still go, Rod. Mickie James, who I believe is retired 4 or 5 times, can always still go. I can't believe she's not in the WWE right now. She's in LFG doing some training things, which is WWE, obviously. So we're going to see these women stay around a lot longer if they want.
Yeah, I think this is something that the wrestling world is sort of dealing with, but I think it's something that we're seeing across all sports, right? And let's go to the other sport that we talk an awful lot about, just us three, the NBA, right? I mean, we are seeing right now where we just talked about Kevin Durant. LeBron James made second team All-NBA last year in his 40s. You know what I mean? Steph Curry's still around and doing it, right? Al Horford is still a huge free agent to be signed this offseason. Chris Paul is still playing. Russell Westbrook is still out there, right? We've seen people be smarter about how to take care of your body. We've seen advancements in medical science, right? And training and stretching and all of that stuff, right? So people are going to be able to go until they're longer. And then as Chris was talking about, and you were talking about it in the wrestling business, making your name is then what gets you to the main event. So it's going to skew to where if you've been around for a while, it's going to get you to the top of the main event life because people know who you are. And it's weird that they don't then use the same built-in legacy that these women have. They just shove them to the side, right? But as you said, maybe it's getting different because we're seeing Trish Stratus come back this weekend, right? Charlotte's still involved. Becky's getting brought back and she's at that more advanced age. You know what I mean? So maybe it's shifting a little, Jim.
Well, if they want the women's division to grow, don't you have to bring up more women and make them interesting and keep pushing and pushing? Like that's how you get more people interested. That's how you can bring in more fans. Like you got to still push people that are just getting into it because you're trying to expand the women's division. That's why you're bringing in 2 additional belts and everything else.
Yeah, correct. I think so. And, she said in the article, to sum it up, she said there's no such thing as aging out for men. Now, there was, for sure, for a very long time there was. But now you can always bring someone back as long as they kind of look the part. For women, though, the rules are just different. For women, as depressing as it sounds, I think a lot of people still only know one way to value them, as young and disposable. Because you can always bring up somebody else, is what she's saying. I think we're evolving from that. It does take time. And the group that we have, the veterans that we have on that roster, can be here as long as they want. Your Becky Lynch can be there as long as she wants. Charlotte Flair can be there as long as she wants. Bayley can be there as long as she wants too. I think it's a very interesting way to look at it.
Don't forget about Asuka, your girl, a little more advanced, right? Back after an injury.
Yep, Asuka's been around a very, very long time. We have 2 events this weekend. We have Saturday night's main event and the Evolution 2 premium live event. Coincidentally enough, going up against AEW's All In, which is their biggest show of the year. I don't know how that happened at all. I'm getting a little fatigued with all these big things going on. Like WWE, calm down a little bit. You think it's just a little much, Chris?
I mean, don't we end up getting a lull here before SummerSlam, kind of though too? Like we had
SummerSlam's in 3 weeks, dude.
It's that
SummerSlam's
quick.
in 3 weeks.
Okay, well,
Yes.
well then yeah, I used to remember having usually like almost a month and a half, I think, between.
This
the
was
summer,
it.
but like
this month.
they really did packed it up. I think bringing Saturday Night Main Event is probably what's making it a little bit more hectic. But if you're going to give a whole PLE to the women, you gotta let the men wrestle somewhere.
Do you though? Do you really, Rod?
Yeah, this is kind of when Saturday Night's Main Event first came back, we all said we love the nostalgic feel, right? We love the idea of still being attached to a network, right? Because that makes us feel a little bit more like a legitimate sport, right? All of your NBA, they're all still played on networks at times, so that's cool. But now, excuse me, we're down to what we feared, right? Where they're just putting together Saturday Night's Main Event and they're scrambling for a card, and we're getting matches that sound like they're great, but really, are they great? Like LA Knight versus Seth Rollins, okay, cool, but you just kind of put that in a microwave and threw it out. You know what I mean? Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton, that's another one that, like, it seems like it would be a great match, but so I worry about it a little bit. I understand that they're taking NBC's money and they got to give NBC a product, but I'm with you, Jim. I worry about the advertising. I've brought that up a lot, that we're just getting a little too crazy with all the advertisements in the ring, and I'm worried that we're stretching the product a little thin with too many special, in quotation, events.
Yeah, I think it's just too much for us to understand what's going on. I mean, we just came off of the Night of Champions. We had Money in the Bank. You can't even take a breath here. But Rod, you went over the whole card, by the way, for Saturday Night's Main Event. I think there's only 3 matches right now still. There might be another one coming up.
Man, there's only 3 matches? Good. I guess it is only going to be 2 hours, and we'll have to do the whole, we're talking to Jesse Body at the beginning and all that, but...
Mm-hmm.
And
before we get there, though...
Goldberg's match can't be that long. They're definitely going to have one more. I mean, come on.
Oh, Gunther said he's going to string it out. This could be like a 45-minute match. Wouldn't that be funny if he just did that? Gunther and Goldberg. Let's go to the main event first. There are so many things that could happen here, but don't you think the final thing is just Gunther beats Goldberg, Chris?
I want to see a Goldberg spear, and then I think
you'll see that.
And then I think Gunther chokes out Goldberg.
So no tap out, choke out, pass out, ends his career.
Yep.
Rod?
Give me Goldberg winning and just creating chaos.
Let's go.
Give me Goldberg winning, creating chaos, because, like, here's why I say that. We've really played up Goldberg's last match, like, a lot. You know what I mean? Like, a lot. Michael Cole has pointed it out a couple of times. You know what I mean? Like, we're really advertising that hard, and I know we're doing that with John Cena's last ride, but we gave him a whole year, right? And so who knows what they're going to be able to cook up for his actual final match. We're really supposed to believe that Goldberg set out all these months and is coming back to absolutely get squashed in Atlanta. I'm not so sure, man. We got a pretty old dude running around with the belt right now. Give me Goldberg winning this and creating some chaos. Why not?
10 years ago, if you say, hey, Goldberg and John Cena are your world champions in 2025, how about that? I would love to see Goldberg win, but I would love to see Goldberg win and then Rollins cash in. I think that would be amazing. I think that would just be, a fantasy booking extraordinary. Oh, it'd be great.
I'm for it. I certainly have no problem with Seth becoming champion.
I think if Goldberg beats Gunther, that's the only thing that can happen after. So I don't think you're going to let Goldberg walk away with the belt on his last match.
So I will tell you this: if that were to happen, where Seth Rollins cashes on Goldberg, if Vince McMahon were in charge, I guarantee you, LA Knight would beat Seth Rollins in this matchup.
Yeah.
That being said, there's going to be a lot of interference, and I think Seth Rollins beats LA Knight. Rod.
Oh, absolutely. He's gonna beat LA Knight. LA Knight's gonna look really, really good, and he's gonna get some big crowd pops, and we're gonna be further reminded that LA Knight is a big guy at the top of the card, whether people want to admit it or not. But he's not beating Seth Rollins.
Chris, LA Knight needs this more than Rollins for sure.
Yeah.
But do you think he's going to be able to get it?
I am 100% behind LA Knight. I'm going to root for him. I'm calling him to win this match, but in reality, it's going to be something dastardly and despicable that Rollins pulls, and Paul Heyman gets some interference going, and victory will be wrenched from LA Knight's grasp at the last minute. But LA Knight will win. That's my official pick.
Randy Orton's had some big losses here recently. Is he going to lose to Drew McIntyre, Chris?
Yep. I'm sorry. I've given up on seeing Randy Orton, the Legend Killer, like I wanted to since he came back. But I've given up. And he's going against Drew. Drew's a madman. He will take care of business. Drew McIntyre.
I think Orton wins this one. I have a feeling he's going to win Saturday night's main event. Get him a big win moving forward. Drew's fine. He can take a loss here. Rod?
Oh yeah, Drew premiered the Bored at Work T-shirt, which is going to sell like hotcakes for a little while, and that's going to be enough that he needs. And yeah, Orton's winning this match big time. Give me the RKO. All
right, let's hit Evolution 2 pay-per-view here. I know it's getting a little late for you guys. We have Jade Cargill versus Naomi in a no-holds-barred match. They're going to this a lot quicker than I thought they were going to. No-holds-barred, though, is perfect for this because Jade Cargill still needs to get some more matches underneath her belt, even though she's been around for a while. I think Naomi wins this. Rod, thoughts?
I thought that for sure Jade was going to just wipe the floor with Naomi and we were going to kind of maybe dispatch with this until they announced that it was a no-holds-barred match. So I'm with you. Naomi will use the Money in the Bank briefcase, pound on Jade, win in a dastardly fashion, and do that Naomi laugh over her body as they cut to commercial on Evolution.
Jade wins this, right? Jade, it's going to be kind of a vicious fight. Naomi's going to fight dirty, and Jade's going to overcome to cement her type of, the building of her legacy as this ultra powerful wrestler. I think if you want Naomi to still be the heel and get even to a bigger heel status, you need her to lose and still have the Money in the Bank. So you think she's even weaker going into trying to steal the title. And if she steals the title, it looks like she doesn't even deserve it even more and becomes a bigger heel. I think Jade takes Naomi out in this.
The Women's Intercontinental Championship. There will be no negative comments about any promos or any fan reactions about Becky Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. I can't wait for this match. I think it's going to be terrific. I think Lyra is going to cost Bayley the match. I think Becky Lynch wins. I think this could be the match of the night. I'm very excited for this, Rod.
Match of the night, huh? I'm with you that there are lots of angles that this match could take that I am excited about. The one that I see playing out the most is that Becky just absolutely steals it, right? Just gets kind of whipped around by Bayley and Lyra at different times in that match, and then just absolutely steals it, gets completely lucky somehow at the end, and then she rolls out of the ring champion, leaving Bayley and Lyra to just start fighting one another.
Chris?
I'm taking Bayley. I think she gets it. I think this belt changes hands again.
Oh, so they're going to hotshot this belt then?
Yeah, I think so. Also, I'm a bigger fan of Bayley right now than I am of the man. So give me Bayley.
I kind of would rather see, I think, Bayley win in a one-on-one matchup, but I can see where you're going with that. I'm trying to see if they have any contestants for the number one contenders battle royal other than Nikki Bella. I hope she doesn't win. There's going to be a number one contenders battle royal. The winner gets a shot at Clash in Paris, which is on August 31st, because we need all of the clashes to continue on. We need to have 35 pay-per-views a year.
Is Bobby Lashley allowed to be in this battle royal? Because we all know that he does very, very well in battle royals.
He's busy that night. That's why they're having this show. He's busy in Texas that night.
All right.
WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, Raquel Rodriguez, Roxanne Perez versus Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair versus the Kabuki Warriors, and I can't remember the NXT team.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And the NXT team.
They're not winning.
Who is going to come out the champions here? You think your girl gets a championship here, Rod? Alexa and Charlotte?
I do, actually. I do, because of the fact that we are still waiting around for an Alexa storyline. I still feel like we are headed towards the Wyatt Six and Alexa Bliss being wedded. So give me Alexa and Charlotte. I liked how they were kind of like Charlotte was like giving her a little bit of love at the end of that match, right? Like I like it for the Queen. Give me a storyline where the Queen's not being a complete bitch every once in a while, and I'm down for it. So let's go. Give the Queen a tag team belt.
Okay. All right. I like that. I tend to agree with you. You know, I'm a Kabuki Warriors guy, but I think that I want to see Alexa and Charlotte play off each other. I think that would have Charlotte something to do, you know, really specific something to do. Chris.
Yeah, I'm 100% behind this. I love the Alexa Bliss Charlotte team up. I like the chemistry between them. I think it's fun in the ring. I'm 100% behind it. Give them both belts around their waist.
The pat on the head move was just brilliant. I mean, that was just great writing. Whoever decided to come up with that pat on the head move was just a great way to end that match.
So even though Jordynne Grace really isn't in NXT anymore, she's kind of on the main roster. She's got an NXT Women's Championship match against Jacy Jayne. I don't want Jordynne Grace to win this. I want her to be on the main roster and see what she can do. I think she's got a lot of potential. I think she's done a really good job in her previous stint in TNA and NXT. So I think Jacy Jayne wins this one, Rod.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we need to bring Jordan up, and we need to get her involved with Rhea. We need to get her involved with Jade. We need to get her involved with Raquel. Like, just get her up with the other big players in the women's game. I'm for it.
Chris.
I mean, there is a pattern of main roster people carrying an NXT belt for a while, right? Sure. We've seen Dom do it. We've seen Becky do it, right? I think Jordynne takes the belt.
Okay, Jordynne Grace is going to be your NXT Women's Champion. I do like Jordynne Grace. I've liked her.
That helps her debut again, right, Jim? Like you said, if they're going to try to push her on the main roster, it makes her look cool if she's wearing the the NXT belt for a little while.
Yeah, that was huge for her in the Rumble. What was it? 2 years ago it was 2 years ago, and then last year when she came out wearing the belt. I believe 2 years ago it was. I don't know when Naomi's cashing in tonight, but she's going to cash in.
Oh, really?
She's going to cash in. Tiffany Stratton, Trish Stratus. Tiffany comes away with it, and I think she might cash in on Tiffany and win the women's championship here. So I think Naomi's coming out the champion in this one, Rod.
So you think we're going to dispatch with Naomi's briefcase already, even though like she's really been the one who's played up the briefcase, right? They've showed the little gig on Instagram where she's like, this is what's inside the briefcase. She's got the caution tape all around it. So you think they're going to dispatch with it that quick, huh?
Yeah, I mean, they've done it quick before. I mean, this is the longest I think both have still been in play in a while.
I mean, because I guess we did see Liv cash in. I think
this is what they're going to do.
A couple years ago, Liv cashed in the same night she won it. So you're absolutely right that we've already gone on a little bit longer, right? We had Nikki Cross, I think it was the Raw after she won it where she cashed
Io
in.
had it for a while last year, though.
Yeah, I guess that's true. And then we certainly had, Damian.
One of the two, though. One of the two, because the men's then,
See, but that's the thing, Jim. You talked earlier about how, like, so you rather see Naomi cash in
both
here.
of them. Yeah, biscuits. Yeah, you're right.
See?
There's too much stuff going on, Rod. But yeah, why not? Let's go. I don't think that's going to happen.
I like where Jimmy's going, though, because I do see Naomi, especially if what I think happens in the earlier match. If Naomi comes out and trying to kind of redeem herself by cashing in, I think she messes up and gets there before the end of the match when it looks like maybe someone's going to win. And then Jade comes back out with like a kendo stick or something and beats her up even more and keeps her from it. And then that will end up causing probably Tiffany Stratton to keep the belt and beat Trish.
Okay. Rod?
What am I really supposed to think here, Jim, about the fact that we trucked out Trish to fight Tiff at Evolution and we didn't give Tiff somebody else who's like an actual real contender? What am I supposed to think about that?
I think you're supposed to think that Trish Stratus is an icon, probably in many people's eyes, the best women's wrestler of all time, perhaps. And
how dare you? Charlotte Flair exists and you're still saying this?
She has a match in this PLE as well, right? I think Trish is someone that deserves a spot in the first ever all-female PLE.
Well, it's not the first ever. It's
second,
the second.
But that's okay.
Chris is a new fan, as he said.
I am.
It's okay, new fan.
I am. Sorry, I didn't know.
that's what I think. It's the same thing as Goldberg. It's like, who cares?
No, I
It's
mean, I
wrestling.
get that, right? I mean,
Yeah.
If I'm going to give, a huge shrift to Cena and Goldberg and, the guys when they come back and do their thing, then I got to do the same thing for Trish. But like, I continue to worry about Tiff, I guess, is basically where I'm going with this here, Jim. I continue to worry about Tiff if this is what we do, right? We bring in Nia. We have her beat Nia in a way that I didn't like. I didn't like that, really, frankly. Like, I didn't like how they did Nia there. I wasn't convinced that was enough to take Nia down. And then they bring out Trish Stratus. It just kind of seems like she's ducking somebody. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not there with Tiff. But she's going to win.
Okay. So Tiffany's going to win that one. Then we have Io Sky, who, by the way, Rhea Ripley has never beaten in a one-on-one contest ever, versus Rhea Ripley. If nothing happens in the Tiffany match, I think Rhea wins. But I honestly think Io Sky is going to continue to be the champion. I've got Io Sky winning this one, Chris.
I got Io as well.
I really think so, right? I really think Io keeps this. I'm trying to convince me somehow of why Rhea would, because I kind of want Rhea to win, but I've become a fan of Io Sky with the belt, right? I do. I like her as a champion. I like watching her matches. She's very, very talented, right? Let's not get it twisted. If she does some of the most exciting stuff on the
All right. Well, that is your Evolution 2 Premium Live event. Shout out to Great American Bash from NXT. That's another show. And then obviously we have All In from AEW, which I think a lot of things are going to happen at that as well. Huge, huge weekend for wrestling. Really appreciate everyone listening and watching and commenting. Check out our YouTube channel with all these live to tape videos. And we also have our shorts going on. We've got our TikTok. Please feel free, comment, subscribe, like. Let's do something fun here.
The man who can't pronounce the cast members of his own cast, he may have very well won the draft.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. And with that, you've been listening to the Yeah We Know Podcast, part of the Marino's Podcasting Network. In the Ring with Jimmy, Chris, and Rod.
So are we supposed to worry about Pat McAfee at this point? I mean, you guys love him. I'm not so sure I'm a huge fan. You guys love him, but he hasn't been around for a couple of weeks, but he's still doing his show every day on ESPN. Just saying.